was built. It has to be finished in time for the Duke and Duchess's holiday. I'm very busy.
There's no Victor here. There's no here.
Cinders and ashes. Having Stevie Spencer on fire for one day is bad, but for the whole summer
is terrible.
That afternoon, Thomas and Percy were huffing and puffing up Gordon's Hill. Then they heard Spencer whooshing and whooshing behind them.
A little more puff and you might make it to the top by tea time.
Bossy boiler!
Next, Spencer caught up with Gordon.
I'm gonna smoke.
The intensity.
Toby was huffing slowly to a junction. Spencer steamed alongside.
It looks like you're too old now to be really useful, Toby.
Okay, so all the engines have to be filled.
Toby gasped. He was upset. He missed his green light.
It is too late.
Edward and James were chuffing beautifully along. Spencer slowed.
Dear, oh dear, it takes 2 old engines to pull 1 freight car, does it? I'm pulling 5.
And Spencer's underway. James was so cross. He couldn't puff at all. That night, the engines could only talk about Spencer.
he told Toby he was too old.
He's taken over my express line.
He'll never have a shiny coat like mine. He'll never have manners.
Spencer's scary.
The next day, Thomas was at Brentham Docks. He had a heavy flatbed of machinery to collect. Spencer was there. He was being coupled up with 5 flatbeds of building materials.
Dear, oh dear, Thomas. It's just as well the Duke and Duchess don't have a tiny toy tank engine like you. The summer house would never be finished.
What do you mean?
I mean, Thomas, you just can't pull heavy loads.
Thomas was upset, and so were the other engines. This time, Spencer had gone too far.
Yes, I can. I can pull just as heavy loads as you. Yes, you can. Even heavier.
Thomas is not a toy. He's a really useful engine, and he's very strong.
The Sodor engines didn't scare Spencer. An idea had bubbled in his boiler.
Very well, Thomas. Meet me tomorrow at dawn at the starting yard. We will have a contest of strength. We will each pull a heavy load, and we'll see who can pull it for longer and for further.
Spencer slid slightly out of the dock. Suddenly, Thomas felt very worried.
Bust my nuts. I can't do this. Spencer will win a contest of strength.
The other engines saw that their friend was worried.
You're the #1 engine on Sodor, and you'll show Spencer that Sodor engines are more special than he is. I know that because you're my best friend.
Thomas looked at his best friend Percy.
Yeah.
Percy believed in him.
I will meet Spencer at dawn, and I will win.
Early the next morning, full light of dawn, Thomas and his friends waited for Spencer. They could see a streak of silver engine puffing towards them. It was Spencer. Thomas felt worried.
I can't lose, Percy. Yes, you can, Tom. You always tell us we can do whatever we want to. So can you.
The tracks were cleared for Spencer and Thomas, and both engines were coupled up with their heavy loads. Edward puffed forward.
Let's take different cows. Why the iron? It's all stuck the whole.
Then Edward whistled long and hard. The contest had begun. Spencer and Thomas puffed their pistols. Thomas puffed off with a heave and a huff.
I'll do it. I'll puff for longer. I'll show Spencer I really am stronger.
Spencer smiled as he slid away.
I'll show Thomas who's strong and first week. He'll puff with a squeak and a creak.
The other engines watched and worried. Then they blew their whistles long and strong.
Good luck, Thomas.
Thomas and Spencer along the tracks. They pushed workers and they puffed uphill. Spencer steamed and smiled. He raced and he roared. Thomas puffed and huffed. He heaved and he hauled.
Silly little engine. When will he learn?
You can do whatever you want to, and I want to win.
Thomas was huffing up a steep slope. He was puffing and panting, and his axles ached. At last, he reached the top.
Yeah, this is
I did it!
Then there was trouble. There was a clang and a prang. Thomas gasped.
Cinders and ashes! I've broken my brakes!
Thomas's wheels started to whir and to
Hey.
roll. He flew faster and faster down the hill.
Oh no! Oh, help!
Thomas raced down one hill and rattled up the next.
Help! I can't stop!
Thomas's heavy freight cars pushed him on and on. Through a junction where Spencer was waiting.
Oh.
Boilers.
And into some potato cars. Potatoes bounced everywhere. But Thomas sped on into a flatbed of jelly barrels. Sticky jelly flew in the air and landed all over Thomas. But still he went on. Found himself rolling along an old rickety track. Ahead, Thomas could see a thick wall of bushes.
Fingers and funnels, how can I stop?
With a scrunch and a crunch, Thomas crashed into the bushes and came to a stop.
Flaming fireboxes! That was scary!
Thomas looked around. After the racing and rattling, it was very quiet.
Spencer will be back at the shunting yards now. He'll be puffing with pride because he won the contest. And my best friend Percy will be wondering where I am. I don't know where I am.
Everything was very quiet. Thomas didn't know what to do. Then he heard a voice.
Hello.
Thomas looked around. There was no one there. He waited, hardly daring to puff.
Look.
Hello?
Hello.
Thomas looked around again. He couldn't see anyone.
The voice seems to be coming from the bushes.
Look.
Very slowly, Thomas chuffed forward into the bushes. The branches crackled and crunched. Then Thomas gasped. His eyes popped wide with wonder. There, on the other side of the bushes, was a very old engine. It was broken and rusty. Thomas felt scared. He couldn't dare speak. Then the old engine smiled at him. It was a little frightened smile, but it made the old engine look kind and gentle, and it made Thomas feel less scared.
Hello. Too bad your brakes failed. Doesn't that always happen when you're on a hill?
The old engine smiled again. Thomas wanted to smile too, but he was scared. He didn't know whether to speak, toot for help, or race backwards as fast as he could shove. But Thomas didn't move. He couldn't take his eyes off this extraordinary engine.
Hello. My name is Thomas.
My name is
Hero.
Hiro.
Thomas wasn't sure what to say next. He'd never met an engine as old and strange as Hero.
Why are you here? Where have you been?
That's a very long story. Do you like stories, Thomas?
Yes. The little engines in the hills tell me stories all the time.
I hope you will like mine. I came here a long time ago from another island. I was one of the first steam engines to arrive on Sodor.
Thomas was amazed.
Where is your island?
My island is a long, long way away. There are mountains and snow and sea. There are roads and railways. I was the
keep it there for now.
I was called Master of the Railway.
How did you get to Sodor?
I came in a very good ship. The journey lasted many days and we sailed many seas. When I arrived at the docks, it didn't look at all like
Keep it there.
home.
What was Sodor
You cannot
like
see
then?
this side, only that
It
side.
was very quiet. I was the only engine on Sodor. They called me Master of the Railway here too. I was very happy.
What happened?
I started to break down. The mechanics didn't have parts for me. So I was put in a silo. I had to wait for parts for my island. I waited and waited. And now I'm sure parts will never come.
Thomas's eyes were wide with wonder.
Do you miss your home?
Yes, I do. I miss being master of the railway.
Thomas looked at his sad new friend. He felt sorry for the hero.
I know. I'll go and meet Sir Topham Hatt. Sir Topham Hatt runs our railway now. He will know how to help you.
No, no, please don't do that. You must not tell Sir Topham Hatt.
Thomas was surprised.
Why?
I'm an old engine that cannot be repaired. I know what happens to old engines that cannot be really useful. They're scrapped and sent to the smelter's yard.
It's not fair. That's not right. That can't happen to you.
But Thomas could see that his new friend, who was once master of the railway, was now old, alone, and scared. So Thomas made a decision.
I will look after you, hero. I won't tell Sir Topham Hatt until you are fixed. You are safe with me. I'm sure I can find the parts to fix you. I promise I will make you a really useful engine once more. I will make you
Enough.
master of the railway.